Hi, Mezzo families and children. Um, I'm sorry we're not able to be together, but I did want to share a book. I understand that you've been talking a lot about Hanukkah, and you were intended to finish this up today. And so I found a book that I thought might be of interest to you. This is a book about a little girl who celebrates Hanukkah and also has relatives who celebrate another holiday called Christmas, and how she was visiting relatives for the holidays and was worried that she wouldn't be able to celebrate both of these holidays. And I think there are many children that celebrate various holidays, so I thought it might be of interest. And this is a special book because it reads to you. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to see how this book reads to you. Okay, let's enjoy it. I'm going to close myself.
Nonna's Hanukkah Surprise by Karen Fishman. Illustrated by Martha Aviles. Carben Publishing. Do we have to go? Asked Rachel, trying to keep her voice from wobbling. Mom looked surprised. You love visiting Daddy's family, she said. But we'll miss Hanukkah, said Rachel. Nonna and the cousins celebrate Christmas. Don't worry, honey, said Daddy. The rest of my family does celebrate Christmas, but we'll bring Hanukkah along too. You'll see. It will be fun for us to share our holiday celebrations. Look, said Mom. She opened a small suitcase. It was filled with Hanukkah decorations, dreidels, chocolate Hanukkah gelt, and enough candles for all 8 nights of Hanukkah. There was also a pile of gifts on the bed, both for Rachel and for her cousins. Rachel felt a bit better, but something was missing. There's no Hanukkah menorah, she pointed out. How will we light the Hanukkah candles? Here, Rach, Daddy said, handing her a box. An early Hanukkah present for you. Open it. Inside was the best menorah Rachel had ever seen. Each of its branches was shaped like a person, and not just any person. This menorah had 9 proud Maccabees, each holding a candle, including one for the Shamash. Rachel loved the story of the Maccabees, the brave Jewish fighters who defeated King Antiochus. She did think it was unfair, though, that the Maccabees were all boys. Rachel was sure that if she'd lived in the days of Antiochus, she would have been a Maccabee too. That was why this particular menorah was the very best. All 9 Maccabees were girls. Rachel gave Daddy a big hug. Okay, she said with a smile. We'll bring Hanukkah with us to Nonna and the cousins. A week later, Rachel's family took a taxi to the airport. Mom was in charge of the Hanukkah suitcase, but Rachel was in charge of the Maccabee menorah, which was safe in her very own backpack. On the plane, Rachel carefully tucked the menorah under the seat in front of her. Then she buckled her seatbelt and waited for takeoff. The next thing Rachel knew, Daddy was shaking her shoulder. Wake up, Rach, we're landing. Everyone stood up and shuffled into the aisle. Mom was already opening the overhead bin to take out the Hanukkah suitcase. Sleepy Rachel lurched to her feet and followed her family to the exit. In the airport, Nonna and the cousins were waiting. There were lots of hugs, and even more kisses. Nonna gave Rachel the biggest hug of all. Rachel took a deep breath, smelling Nonna's perfume. Nonna always wore lots, so everyone could enjoy it. She even saved her perfume bottles because she said they were too beautiful to throw away. I'm so glad you're here, Bella, said Nonna in her heavy accent. Me too, Nonna, said Rachel, and she meant it. As soon as Rachel stepped inside Nonna's house, she caught the scent of evergreens and a whiff of Nonna's famous panettone. Nonna took Rachel straight to the kitchen and cut her a thick slice of the sweet, fruit-filled bread. I'm making all my special foods for Christmas, Nonna said proudly. Then she winked. And we're going to have Hanukkah too. Don't you worry. You brought everything we need, yes? Rachel nodded. Mom has decorations and lots of other stuff. And she stopped. She had been about to say, I have the menorah. But she didn't have the menorah. It was still on the plane. How could she have forgotten it? A giant lump grew in Rachel's throat. What's wrong, Bella? Asked Nonna. Rachel ran to her parents. I left the Maccabee menorah on the plane, she cried. Oh, sweetie, said Mom. It's okay. We'll call the airport in the morning. But tonight is the first night of Hanukkah, sobbed Rachel. We have to light the candles. We'll still light candles, said Daddy. We just won't get to use your Maccabee menorah tonight. But we'll put up the decorations, play dreidel, and eat latkes like we always do. Don't worry, honey. It will be okay. Mom opened her suitcase. The cousins swarmed around, reaching for decorations and spinning the dreidels on the kitchen table. But not Rachel. Her beautiful menorah was stuck on the plane, and it was all her fault. Rachel rested her head on the kitchen table. She wished she could just go back home. Then she smelled perfume and heard a whisper in her ear. Teach me about the menorah, Bella, said Nonna. Then I'm going to make you feel better. In a quiet voice, without even lifting her head, Rachel explained about the menorah. She told Nonna how it had 8 candle holders for the 8 nights of Hanukkah, and 1 extra for the shamash, the worker candle that lights the rest, and how, on the first night of Hanukkah, Jews light 1 candle plus the shamash, with another candle added each night, until on the last night, all 8 are lit. Okay, said Nonna. Now I know, so now I'll fix. But first I need my super duper glue. Nonna took the glue from a drawer. Then she slipped 2 Hanukkah candles out of Mom's suitcase and marched out of the room. A few minutes later, Nonna was back, holding a beautiful, sparkling menorah. 9 glimmering crystal perfume bottles stood on a silver tray, all stuck in place with Nonna's super duper glue. The tallest bottle held the shamash, and another held the first candle of Hanukkah. A smile spread over Rachel's face. It wasn't her girl Maccabee menorah, but it was a very special menorah all the same. Rachel ran over and gave Nonna an enormous hug. Thank you, Nonna, said Rachel, not letting go. When it got dark, everyone gathered around the glittering menorah. Mom sang the blessing, and Dad lit the first Hanukkah candle. Afterward, as Rachel munched on Nonna's lasagna and Mom's potato latkes, she decided that bringing Hanukkah to Nonna and the cousins was pretty special. Maybe next time she'd bring Purim.
What did you think of that? I hope you enjoyed it. Are you going to go anywhere for the holidays? When you go to a different place, do they celebrate the holidays the same as you, even if they're your own family? Sometimes there's differences. I wonder if this made you think of anything. See you soon.